The crowd screamed her stage name like a prayer. But when the music cut, she didn't answer. She stood backstage in Seoul, shaking, as security dragged her mother out of the venue for shouting a name that no longer existed on any contract, passport, or screen. By midnight, her bank account was frozen. By morning, immigration was calling. And by the end of the day, the girl who sold out the venue was officially nobody. The contract didn't just own her music, it owned her name. This is the story of Amara Okoye, a Nigerian dancer who broke into Seoul's K-pop underground, only to discover that fame came with a price she never imagined paying. This is a story about identity, survival, and the impossible choice between who you are and who the world demands you become. Amara Okoye grew up in Lagos, raised by a single mother who sold fabric in the market. Dance was never considered serious, but it became Amara's escape from poverty and invisibility. When a Korean talent scout spotted her viral dance video, she believed it was her only chance to escape generational struggle. She arrived in Seoul alone, undocumented at first, surviving on instant noodles and borrowed floors. The music stopped, but Amara's body didn't. Even after the beat cut, her feet kept moving against the studio floor, sweat sliding down her spine, lungs burning as if stopping meant dying. Again, Park Jae-min's voice cut through the room, calm, controlled, dangerous. Amara nodded and reset without argument. Around her, other trainees collapsed onto the floor, gulping air. But Amara couldn't afford distractions. In this building, attention was currency, and mistakes were debt. The music started again. Amara danced like she was running from something. From Lagos, from hunger, from the sound of her mother's voice telling her to be patient, that God would provide. God had not provided. A contract had. Later that night, Amara sat on the dorm bed, rubbing ointment into her swollen ankles. Nala lay on the opposite bed, scrolling through her phone. "They posted the lineup," Nala said casually. Amara froze. "And?" "Your center," the word hung between them. Center meant cameras. Center meant sponsorships. Center meant survival. Nala smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Congratulations, Ara." Ara, not Amara. Amara swallowed. "Thank you." She didn't say what she felt, that the name tasted like chalk in her mouth. The next morning, the conference room smelled like polished wood and money. Park Jae-min stood at the head of the table, hands folded, expression unreadable. Yoon Seo-yeon sat to his right, tablet in front of her, eyes deliberately neutral. "Your debut is scheduled for next week," Park said. "International broadcast, no mistakes." He slid a thin folder across the table toward Amara. "An updated contract," Seo-yeon added smoothly. "Standard adjustments." Amara opened it. Her eyes moved quickly. Training hours. Image rights, non-disclosure. Then she saw it. Clause 14. Her chest tightened. "No public acknowledgement of non-Korean ethnic identity," she read aloud, her voice steady despite the pounding in her ears. "Including language, symbols, interviews, and personal narratives." Park watched her carefully. "This protects the brand." Seo-yeon didn't look up. Amara hesitated for exactly 2 seconds. 2 seconds of thinking about her mother's call last week. About rent. About hospital bills. About how proud she'd sounded when Amara said she was debuting. Then, Amara picked up the pen and signed. The days blurred together. Dance, practice, diet, silence. Online, fans speculated wildly about Ara's exotic look. Comment sections filled with questions she was not allowed to answer. Interviews were scripted, smiles rehearsed. At night, Amara whispered her real name into her pillow, like a prayer. Nala noticed everything. She noticed how Amara flinched whenever someone asked, "Where are you from?" She noticed how management praised Amara's ambiguity. She noticed how her own reflection faded further into the background. One night, Nala stood outside the practice room and watched Amara dance alone, movements softer now, restrained, as if something inside her had been folded away. Nala opened her phone. She hesitated. Then she pressed record. 3 days before the debut, Amara received a call from an unknown number. "Amara?" her mother's voice said, bright and proud. "They said they'll show your introduction live. I'm watching with everyone at the shop." Amara's stomach dropped. "Mom!" She looked around the hallway, lowering her voice. "They'll use my stage name." There was a pause. "Stage name," her mother repeated. "But why won't you tell them who you are?" Amara opened her mouth. No words came out. That night, Seo-yeon found Amara alone in the stairwell, sitting with her head in her hands. "They're watching closely now," Seo-yeon said quietly. "Be careful." Amara looked up. "If I break it, even once?" Seo-yeon didn't answer immediately. Then, softly, "There are consequences written, and consequences they don't write." The event that changes everything. The next morning, Park Jae-min slammed a tablet onto the conference table. On the screen, a video. Amara, backstage, laughing, speaking her native language on the phone. Park's voice was calm, too calm. This was sent anonymously. Amara felt the room tilt. Park looked at her. "Explain." The past was gone. Silence was no longer protection, and whatever she chose next would make going back impossible. Amara sat frozen across from Park Jae-min. The leaked video glared from the tablet on the table. "You signed the clause," Park said evenly. "You knew the rules." I didn't think it mattered," Amara whispered. Seo-yeon shifted uncomfortably, hiding the fact that the loophole she had planted could actually save Amara, but only if Amara took the risk of exposing the company. Park leaned forward. "This is not a warning anymore. This is a test of loyalty. Fail, and you're gone, permanently." Amara's heart raced. Every heartbeat screamed, "Survive or fight." Later that night, Nala sent a message to management. "She's planning to speak out. She's a liability." Amara found out when her phone vibrated with a notification from a fan forum. Someone had uploaded backstage footage of her speaking her language. Her hands shook. When she confronted Nala, her supposed friend smiled politely. "I just want what's fair," Nala said, carefully neutral. "Maybe you're too slow to protect yourself. I'm not." Amara felt a mix of fury and heartbreak. The person she trusted most had already turned against her. Seo-yeon approached Amara in the practice studio. "There is a way out," she whispered, glancing around to make sure no one overheard. "Legally. If you expose coercion publicly, the clause becomes invalid." Amara's eyes widened. "And," Seo-yeon's gaze darkened, "everyone who signed similar contracts will be implicated, including Nala. If you do this, she could lose everything." Amara clenched her fists. She realized survival might demand sacrificing her friend, but silence would make her complicit in the system. The leaked video went viral. Social media erupted with praise for Aura's authenticity and backlash against management. Amara's phone didn't stop buzzing. Messages of encouragement mixed with threats. "Why aren't you speaking your truth?" versus, "You'll regret it if you disobey." Even Nala's messages were twisted. "Don't let them trick you. Play the game." Amara felt suffocated. She was no longer just a trainee. She was a symbol, a target, and a pawn. Alone in the dorm, Amara broke down. She slammed her fists against the wall, screamed at herself for ever trusting the system, and cried for the mother she left behind in Lagos. "You promised me a chance," she shouted at the ceiling. "I didn't sign my soul away." Seo-yeon found her there. She hesitated. Should she console Amara, or remind her that the only way out was exposure? Amara buried her face in her knees. The choice felt impossible. Live under erasure or risk everything for freedom. Nala appeared unexpectedly, outside the practice studio, holding her phone like a weapon. "I told them everything," she said. "If you make a move, I will make sure it's your career that ends first." Amara's heart sank. Nala had crossed the line. She was actively working to destroy her. Nala isn't acting out of pure malice. She truly believes Amara's rebellion could ruin both of them. Her betrayal is self-preservation, twisted into manipulation. Park summoned Amara to his office late at night. He closed the door. "You think I enjoy this?" he said. "Every day I wrestle with the reality that this industry chews people up. But if I let authenticity rule, all these trainees starve. I protect them by controlling them." Amara's anger flared. "You protect them by erasing them." "I give them life in a system that's already killing their dreams," he replied, quietly. The revelation shakes Amara. The antagonist isn't purely evil. He believes he's saving lives, even if it costs their identities. Amara sits backstage the night before her international debut. If she complies, she maintains safety, visa, and career. But her soul continues to erode. If she exposes the clause, she risks Nala's sabotage, legal battles, and deportation, but could free herself and others. Her hands tremble over the contract she signed. Her reflection in the mirror is both her and Ara, the divided self forced to choose which survives. Nala leaks another video. A direct clip of Amara speaking in her native language during rehearsal. Management sees it first. Park Jae-min now has evidence for immediate termination, and Seo-yeon whispers, "There's no turning back now." Everything Amara believed about safety, friendship, and loyalty has fractured. The world she knew is gone. Survival requires rebellion. But at what cost? Amara sat in the dim rehearsal room, heart pounding. The leaked videos, the betrayal, the looming debut. Everything collided in a suffocating weight. Seo-yeon approached quietly, holding the contract's legal loophole. "This is your chance," she said. "Expose them. You can nullify Clause 14. But once you do, everyone who signed will be implicated, including Nala." Amara's hands shook. Nala had betrayed her, yes. But was this justice or vengeance? She stared at the mirror. Ara's face stared back, confident and controlled. But Amara's own eyes burned with fear and grief. Decision made. Amara would no longer be erased. The international broadcast studio buzzed with energy. Cameras lined the stage. Fans worldwide tuned in. Backstage, Park Jae-min confronted her one last time. "You're throwing away everything," he said quietly. "Your debut, your visa, your career." "I'm taking back my name," Amara replied, calm but resolute. "I'm taking back myself." Seo-yeon handed Amara the evidence. Every signed contract, every coercive clause. Park's expression flickered. Not anger, but something like sorrow. For the first time, Amara saw the man behind the machine, someone who truly believed he was saving artists, even as he crushed them. Nala appeared moments before the broadcast. "Don't do it," she said, holding her phone like a weapon. "If you expose this, I'll make sure you burn completely." Amara looked at her, eyes steady. "I know." Nala's mouth tightened. Her envy, fear, and twisted loyalty had driven her to this point. But Amara no longer needed her approval. With one deep breath, Amara stepped onto the stage. The cameras rolled. Millions watched live. Amara spoke in her native language first, then switched seamlessly to Korean and English. She revealed the truth of the contract, the clauses, and the erasure of identity. She named the system, the company policies, and the stakes for everyone trapped inside. The audience gasped. Some cheered, some protested. Social media exploded. Park Jae-min watched silently. Seo-yeon, at his side, gave a small nod. The legal safeguards were in place, but nothing could undo the emotional storm Amara had unleashed. The broadcast went viral. Management scrambled to contain the PR disaster. Fans rallied to Amara's side. Nala's betrayal was exposed. Many of the trainees who had been silent began speaking out. Park Jae-min faced both condemnation and sympathy. His morally gray choices were debated worldwide. Amara didn't celebrate. The victory was not neat. Many relationships were broken. Opportunities were uncertain. She had burned bridges. She had risked everything. But she was free, fully herself. Amara returned to her small dorm room, empty but quiet. She pulled out her phone and called her mother. "Mom," she said, voice trembling but proud. "I'm finally me." Her mother's voice cracked with emotion. "I knew you would fight, my child. I knew you would never let them take you away." Amara smiled, tears streaming. She was changed, not just stronger, but wiser. Fame and security no longer defined her. Identity, courage, and integrity did. Seo-yeon knocked lightly and entered. No words were needed. They had survived, and for now, that was enough. Weeks later, Amara stood on a new stage, performing. Not Ara, the erased idol, but Amara Okoye, whole and authentic. Nala was gone from the company. Some of the other trainees flourished. Park Jae-min stepped down, his empire shaken but lessons etched into his conscience. Amara no longer feared invisibility. She had learned that survival without truth was a cage, and that freedom, no matter how costly, was worth every sacrifice. The music swelled. Her body moved with confidence, joy, and pride. The crowd cheered, not just for her talent but for her courage. And for the first time, Amara felt truly seen. Identity cannot be contracted away. Your name is your power. Never let anyone erase you. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your story matters. Your name matters. You matter.